You're not allowed to walk. You're not allowed to dodge roll. If you press WASD even once, the run is over. And I just finished attempting this in Path of Exile 2. Solo self found, no trading, no help, just a druid who forgot how to walk. So let me show you what happened. Here's how this works. No walking, no dodge rolling, movement must come from skills only, downs are exempt because abilities are disabled there, interacting with NPCs or zone transitions is allowed. Technically, if I wasn't in solo self-bound, I could teleport to a friend and skip walking in towns. But we're not doing that. To make sure I wouldn't cheat, I rebound my WASD keys to my numpad. If I move, it's because I intended it. I spawn on the coast and immediately realize something. I do not have a movement skill. So how do I move? Punching. The default punch nudges you forward slightly in whatever direction you're facing. So I inch my way across the beach, and honestly, this feels awful. But then we find the druid starting weapons, damage goes up, the miller goes down, and suddenly this doesn't feel impossible anymore. In town, I gear up and switch to a spear. The spear stab gives forward momentum. It costs no mana, that's infinite movement. Now, I'm not crawling anymore, I'm lunging. The early bosses go down relatively easily, but I noticed something early. Red boss attacks are going to be a problem, because I can't sidestep, I can't roll. If I misjudge spacing, I'm tanking it. In the red veil, I get a level 3 skill jump. This changes everything. With the uncut skill gem, we unlock the Pounce ability. The gameplay loop becomes Spear Stab for positioning and Pounce for damage dealing and emergencies. Draven? Easy. But Asenia was something else. I tried to face tank all of her attacks. I can't. I die. Limited mobility results in guaranteed damage, but after a few attempts and better spacing discipline, she goes down. Lesson learned. Face tanking everything isn't viable. And the next few areas were about applying that lesson. And so far, things were going smoothly. We got our first spirit upgrade and chose to run Herald of Ash. We picked up the skill books, and after defeating the Executioner, we finally got to the Manor. And here, the Candlemass kills me a few times, as I forget that lesson about face tanking. That barrage is brutal when you can't reposition. But eventually, we take it down. Then the final boss of Act 1, the Count. Surprisingly easy, and we move on to the second act. The first boss goes down easily. Raja though, her grenade-imbued red melee attack, that should kill me. I try to dodge, I can't, I tank it. And somehow survive. That's when I realize I won't be able to dodge all of the boss attacks, so I might as well increase my defenses. Defeating Balbala unlocks us the Trials of Succubus. Low mobility means I avoid escape and gauntlet rooms. They're absolutely doable, but I just want to minimize the amount of honor damage I take. A focus on Ritual, Chalice and Hourglass. The trial is manageable, and after defeating the boss, we complete it. For Ascendancy, I pick Shaman, and I choose the passive that grants Spirit per empty charm slot. Why? Because I want to stack as many Spirit abilities as possible. And then, I find it. Unfolding Dawn, a unique chest. Plus 100 Spirit, resistances. And with the increased Spirit amount, I run Herald of Fire, Attrition, and Vitality supports as well. Even though I was memeing with the Spirit gems, this is actually pretty good. The bosses of the second act go down one by one, and things are going smoothly until we make it to the final boss of the second act. Phase 1, completely fine. Phase 2, the model of the boss disappears. He's still here, still attacking, and he's still able to take damage, so we keep on trying to defeat him, and eventually I die. We try again, same thing. Model gone, attacks coming from thin air. But after a few attempts, we take him down. And with that, we make it to the third act. We reach the town and do some upgrades to our gear. Energy shield is high now, armor is stacking. We're fully committing to the tank strategy. The first boss that we have to face is the monkey. I don't think I can reliably dodge his attacks, so I prefer to tank them. And it actually works. Next up we do the 3 quests for Survey, and from the Poison Vial quest, we pick the Mana Regeneration permanent upgrade. In the Azak Bog we defeat the Witch and get our second Spirit upgrade, and we switch up our Spirit gems. Barkskin and Time of Need will help us with our survivability. And after that we go on to face the Chimera. It turns out to be pretty easy, and it's time to do the Trial of Chaos. The trial has a couple of dangerous moments, but for the most part it goes smoothly. We pick the debuffs that hurt us the least, we fight the Chimera again, win, and we take the Turning of the Seasons passive node. We take the snow just to improve our DPS, but we'll probably change up our ascendancies later on. And after a few easy bosses, we reach the Viper boss. And this is where the challenge almost ends. When you step just slightly into the arena, nothing happens. No cutscene, no dialogue, and my abilities are disabled. And the game just clearly expects you to just walk the rest of the way forward, which I can't do. If I take one step, the run's over. I try to respawn and try again. Same thing. And then it clicks. The cutscene only triggers if you're deep enough into the arena, so instead of stepping in, I use pounce. I jump far enough forward in one burst, and then the cutscene triggers immediately. No walking, no cheating, just pure ability movement. The fight finally starts, and low chaos resistance makes it scary, and we die a few times just because we can't dodge some of her attacks. But after a couple of tries, we take her down. Technically, we avoided the soft lock, but I think this isn't the only section where this could happen. After that, we take down Doriani, and we make it to the 4th act, and this act nearly kills the run multiple times. Catch bait boss? Fine, although he has some damaging attacks. Singing Caverns boss? We're able to ignore her mechanic entirely. Isle of Kin? The boss goes down without any problems. The prisoner is a bit tougher, as he regenerates a couple of times, but we take him down as well. With all the weapon pieces secured, we make it to the island of Arastas, and this almost ends everything. The church door closes, and after we open it, our abilities are disabled. You're meant to walk forward, but I can't. Reset, same thing. Reset again, nothing happens. We travel back to King's March, but nothing changes. But I keep on trying. And then randomly, on one of the resets, the door is open. Our abilities are not disabled. I bounce forward, the cutscene triggers, and we're saved. This might be the luckiest moment of the whole run, and I'm not exactly sure what happened. I wasn't so lucky in my last run, so I'm not gonna question it, I'll take it. And next up is Storbian. He gets buffed by these guys, and normally you dodge his boulder attack, so he hits one of the platforms, and that removes one of his buffs. But we're unable to dodge those boulders. So we use the trick I learned in my last challenge run. I tank the boulder while standing near the platform. The impact hits both me and the platform. The sorcerer loses concentration, the buff is removed. It's unintended tech, but hey, it works. And after this fight ends, we make our way to the quarry. And waiting on the other side was the fight I thought would end the run. It's the fight with Benedictus. The developers designed this boss in a way that you would have to run out of certain areas during this boss fight, otherwise you would take a massive amount of damage. But we can't do that, so we have to tank the hits. And to my surprise, we're actually able to tank those hits. And of course the hit chunks us for a large amount of our life pool, but this is something we can work with. And we managed to take the boss down without dying a single time. I honestly didn't expect this. And after Benedictus is defeated, we face the biggest problem so far. And as you might have guessed, it's another section where your abilities are disabled and you're meant to walk. Together with these two NPCs, we're supposed to walk down this hallway, and the distance that Pounce jumps is not far enough this time. And if I do jump in, my abilities are disabled, I have to respawn at the checkpoint. And if I do, the boss somehow repeats his death animation, and the quest gets bugged entirely, as the door doesn't open this time around, and the NPCs are nowhere to be seen. So I reset the whole instance and try this again, but the same thing repeats. And at this point, I thought the run was over. But then it dawned on me. There is an ability that could potentially work, but I would have to test it out. And this ability is Rampage. It's a channeled movement ability that consumes not only mana, but also rage. So I went back to town, picked up this gem, crafted it, and also respect my ascendancies. The intention here is to maximize my rage. And also, I wanted a way of regenerating my rage without damaging enemies, so I went with these nodes. So we made our way back to Arastas, and we fought Benedictus again. And at this point, with all of the attempts that I made to get past this corridor, the fight is super easy. Alright, I got one shot at this. I can cast the ability only once, so let's hope this works. I'll be honest, this might be my favorite moment of the run. But let's not celebrate too early. We go back to King's March, we upgrade our weapons, and we make our way to the last area of the 4th act. With the amount of movement that Rampage offers, we run past all of the enemies pretty easily, and we get to the final boss. The final boss is tough. He has several stages, with the 2nd and 3rd being quite damaging. We even managed to die once. But with everything we learned, prediction, repositioning, tanking, we finally defeat him. So, can you beat Path of Exile 2 without walking or dodging? Well, yes, mostly. The real enemy wasn't the bosses, it wasn't damage. It was the game's assumption that you can walk, and sometimes you just refuse to.